Hello guys, Bendak here and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a long format haul for the bounty hunter missions, investigation missions, and mercenary work in Star Citizens. This is one of my favorite runs in Microtech because it takes less than an hour, and if you're playing with friends, you will all have something to do. You can share loot and you can all make about 250k UEC. Now note, if you are playing solo, you can make upwards to 600k. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the guide. This video will feature timestamps for veterans and beginners. I'll try my best to capture the important information and create a timestamp so you can later revisit the video if needed. Before placing any of the timestamps, I want to say thank you to everyone for the support shown on my last video. At the time of writing this script, the video had already surpassed about 11k views. The comments you guys left on the video were amazing. As of right now, I don't have a sponsor, so your guys' comments and likes mean everything to me. So for me to be pumping out more videos, please leave a like or a dislike if you did not find the video helpful. And if you have any feedback regarding the video or me as a content creator, please leave it down in the comment section. This could be positive or negative. I receive all feedback with open arms. With that out of the way, here are your timestamps. The rundown. So right now we are in the Moby-Glass under the Investigation tab in the Contract section. Here we will find the Whereabouts Unknown mission, which rewards us with 34k for finding a deceased person. Next, we will be going to the Mercenary tab. In the Mercenary tab, we'll select the Boarding Action in Progress. Note, this mission might sometimes be hard to find in servers. It will reward us with 45k. Now the next mission is under Bounty Hunter section. This mission, you will need to complete a certification in order to be able to hunt down bounties. This mission will pay us up to 35k. Now the last mission we will be selecting under the Mercenary tab is going to be the Call to Arms. This mission will reward us with 500 UEC per outlaw killed. Now the bonus will only work in two of the selected missions, the Boarding in Progress and the Bounty Hunting mission, as in for the Whereabouts mission we will be killing security guards. Preparation. Once you arrive to Port Tressler, not Port Tesler, Port Tressler, you will look down to the hot dog stand. To the left of the hot dog stand, you'll see the Tressler's Medical Clinic. You want to head into the medical clinic. As soon as we set foot inside the medical clinic, you'll have the reception check-in. Here, if you are 100% of health and full food and water, you don't have to check in. But as you can see, I am injured and I am missing health, food, and water. So it assigns me to room 7. Going down the hall, you can see that I have the rooms right in front of me and I have the pharmacy to my right. Once you're in the room, you want to lay down on the medical bed. Now, once you lay down on the medical bed, it'll raise your health and it will raise your hunger and water. Now, if you have tier 1, 2, or 3 injuries, you want to click on the medical care area. Here, you'll head to treatment, and sometimes it bugs out like it did to me, but you'll want to check mark both of them. As you can see, I'm only going to get healed for one of them because I forgot to select the other one. Once you're all patched up, you want to head down to the pharmacy. The pharmacy is located right next to the checking table. Now here, we're going to buy 4 of these Hemozol pens. Before buying them, we're going to select either Port Tressler's inventory or our backpack. We're going to buy 4 of these. That way we're maxed out on our stims. Now here, we can have a choice. We can either buy the medical gun or we can buy the mining tool when we go to the cargo bay and use the lifeguard medical attachment for 350 USC. I will always recommend having the medical gun over the mining tool with the medical attachment. Even though it could heal you on a pinch, it is not as good as the medical gun, as the medical gun has an advanced feature that allows you to select different doses for different injuries. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're going to be playing with a duo or trios, you guys want to have medical devices. Now that we're all done with the medical devices, we're going to do an about face and we're going to head to the clinical insurance tab, or tablet better said. Here you can select Port Tressler as your spawn point, meaning that if you selected New Babbage or any of the other starting areas, you're going to transfer your imprint to Port Tressler in order to, whenever you die, you spawn in this location. Now heading outside of the medical clinic to the right, we will have the elevators. Here we're going to go into the Galleria so we can either buy weapons, armors, or one backpack. When the elevator doors open, you will want to head forward and take a right into the gaming arcade. Once in the arcade, you will take another right into the gun shop. Once you're on the armor terminal, you will want to buy one core armor, one weapon with 10 magazines, and a backpack. Now for armor, I recommend the PAB-1 since it allows you to place a light backpack. Now buying the armor, the backpack, a weapon, and 10 mags can run you about 6k UEC. If at this moment you don't have any UEC, I would recommend you watching the video at the top right. Now once you and your team have bought armor, weapons, and a backpack, you guys want to head to the cargo center. Now in the cargo center, we will find two things that are very important. Renting a ship, which is optional. If you're playing solo, you can use your starter ship. But if you're playing in a team, I would recommend renting the Cutlass Black. It's going to run you about 43k, and it will suit 3 people or a team of 2 very well. Now, heading to the cargo services, once you exit the elevator, it will be to our left. Here we will find the ship rental station, and we will also find a kiosk to buy the mining tool. So once you approach the terminal, you will have the 3 options presented to you. You will have the Titan, the Freelancer, and the Cutlass Black. We will be selecting the Cutlass Black in this scenario. Like I did mention before, it is optional. If you're playing with a team, it is highly recommended, and if you have a Titan and you're playing solo, it is something that's not needed. Now heading to the kiosk for the mining tool, mining attachment, and the SCU box. Now, depending on the ship you have, the SCU box you're going to buy is going to be different, but we'll touch on that in a minute. So for the mining tool, you will want to buy the multi-tool. It is the 480 UEC one. You will want to buy one of those. And then you also want to buy the tractor beam attachment. This will allow us to carry the SCU box in and out of the ship. Now, once we buy these 2 things, we're going to go to the categories and select utility. In the utility category, you'll find the 1 SCU self-storage container all the way up to 8. So in our case, we're going to buy 2 of these for our Cutlass Black. If you're playing on a Titan, you can buy up to 8 of these things and fit them on the back. Just understand that if you fill your Titan with SCU boxes, you will have to enter through the canopy as your ramp will no longer be accessible. Now back at the hangar and habs, you want to make sure you equip all of the items you bought, this being your armor, your mining tool with the tractor beam attachment, your medical pistol, your stims, all of your magazines, and your medical vial if you have any. Now heading to your kiosk, you want to retrieve your ship. Now back at the cargo hangar, I have retrieved my Cutlass Black. As you guys can see, the cargo hold for this ship is massive compared to the Titan or any of the other starter ships. Now here, you want to travel to your inventory. In my case, I do have SCU boxes in here. So they're going to be under the other tab. What you can do is take them out of your inventory, or at least Port Tressler's inventory, and just drop them down on the floor. They will spawn right in front of you. Now, once both boxes are placed, you want to grab them with your tractor beam. Now, using middle scroll wheel, moving forward or back, you will either put them closer to you or away from you. As you guys can see, they have a weird outline, and if you drop them close by, they will stick to place. Now, the reason why we're having the Drake Cutlass Black is because it has a tractor beam at the back. This can be accessed on the co-pilot seat. It's very helpful when doing runs like this with a team. Now heading to the cockpit, this essentially has a bunch of amenities. It has 2-player storages to the left on those white cabinets, 4 weapon racks, 2 beds, and a turret gunner seat. Now, if you have a team of 3, everybody will have something to do. The pilot, the co-pilot, and the turret gunner. Departure. At this moment, you should have your missions tracked. I would recommend starting with the urgent boarding action in progress mission, as this one is floating in the orbit of Microtech, meaning that once it's completed, it'll be really easy to travel to the other 2 missions. Side note, I did change servers to Europe since my servers were not presenting the mission. Now, after waiting about 5 minutes, the 890 jump finally appeared. As of now, I am playing on a European server, and this is why things seem a little bit laggy. I am based in the US, and the latency has increased from me switching servers. Now, in this mission, you'll have about 14 enemies boarding in the ship, and depending on the fighters you get outside of the ship, you'll have either a ship that hosts 2 enemies in the ship, or one that has 3 people. If this is the case, you'll raise the total of outlaws killed to 20 if you kill everybody. Some people that play this game recommend not killing them and just going into the ship, but this is not recommendable right now because you'll have your SCU storages inside your ship. And in my case, normally when I do this mission, the enemies or the enemy AI that's using ships, they destroy my vessel while I'm in the ship. It's to the point where they sometimes kamikaze the ship while I'm doing the mission, rendering it useless because the mission fails. So I will always recommend killing the enemies outside. Now, as you guys can see right here, after waiting a minute or 2, the fighters finally appeared. I am going to dispatch them. Now that dogfight took a little bit longer than expected, but we have it completed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to park near the ship. Now we're going to open our ramp. And like someone said in the comments of last video, a pro tip is to always close your ramp when you embark your ship. That way nobody hops in it while you're gone. Now, we're going to be entering through the sides of the ship. They'll be marked on your map when doing the mission. Here, you can expect to kill about 8 enemies. It all really depends. They're randomly spawned, but I normally find the most on this section. Now, once you go in, you want to dispatch all the enemies. Once you've eliminated the crew, in the first floor, you'll find the engineering area. It is the door to the right. You'll take that door and head down the ladder. Now down the ladder, you can either find friendly forces or hostile forces. Just note, the friendly forces will be marked with a green tag at the top of their heads. Now, taking the doors to the right, there'll be 2 once you go down the ladder. You can take any of them. They'll take you to the cargo bay. In the cargo bay, you'll find about 5 enemies, and there's always 1 roaming the hallways. So once you dispatch all of these guys back here, once you're all dead, you want to loot the bodies, and what you're going to do is you're going to open the vehicle tab, and it should be the Origin 890. As the previous video I showed you guys, all you're going to do is basically press F, open inventory at the top right, change the vehicle inventory to the left, and just drag their undersuit and weapon. Somebody recommended double clicking to pass the items, but I've noticed that that's the reason the inventory glitches, and it's because you do it too fast when clicking. So I've been doing this method, and so far doing the dragging of all the items to the other inventory has worked just fine. So once you're happy with all the looting, what you want to do is you're going to go to this terminal right here, press the F button, and it's going to raise the hangar. Now we're going to be pulling out our tractor beam, and we're going to be heading to our ship, which should be parked almost right next to the hangar. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to the ship and grab our SCU boxes. Now, opening the side doors and grabbing one of your SCU boxes, all you're going to do is you're going to left click on it and then use your scroll wheel to move it forward. When you're in space, you kind of move faster than the tractor beam, so you want to make sure you're spaced out. If you're too close to the SCU box, there's times where you glitch through it or you actually get hurt from being close to it. Now, once the SCU box is in the ship, if you run into any issues when putting the items into the inventory, make sure you hold F and go to the loot tab. You're going to open the inventory at the top right, because sometimes it doesn't allow you to put items inside. So now that you open the loot, you'll be able to move all into the SCU storage. Now, take in consideration that not all the items are going to fit on the one SCU container, so you'll have to bring or do multiple trips. I would recommend bringing both boxes or 3 boxes if you have more people. Now back at the ship, make sure you guys reassess your equipment, make sure you're adding your brand new magazines left on your backpack to your persona, and making sure you take out any and all empty mags. Also, if you press Alt and 1, you'll be able to repack all of your mags, basically condensing the ones with less ammo into one that's full. Investigation. So now we're going to be heading to the next mission under the investigation tab, and all we're going to do is track the mission. It should be relatively close to the 890 jump ship. While being down doing the mission, I got blessed by the Star Citizen gods, and obviously I fell through an elevator, so I had to exit the menu. So I'll be posting here the gameplay of the last video. New ship, who this? So the main concept of the whereabouts mission is to just drag your logistics depot inventory to your ship or to your SCU boxes. This video was recorded on the 29th, so it's not really actual gameplay of me right now because, like you saw, I fell through an elevator. So all you really have to do is get into the lobby, kill all of the security guards, loot them, and put all the loot into the logistics depot like you guys did basically on the 890 jump ship. So at this point, I am going to fast forward the footage so you guys can see what the run looks like. So now that you took the elevator to the security checkpoint 1, you will encounter heavy forces. There will be a lot of security guards down here, and if you're really unlucky, there'll be more than 10. So just take that in consideration. So right here is an example of how the loading looks like. You'll go to the open inventory at the top right. You'll go to the local inventory, which is the Microtech Logistics Depot. And you're going to drag the undersuit to get all of the armor from the enemy. And you'll also take the weapon. Now make sure that the enemy's loot is on the right side and your inventory is on the left. Now make sure you drag the weapons, as weapons are normally valued more than armor. Once you're looting till your heart's content, all you're going to do is follow this pathway. So head to the main hall, take a right, take a left at the end of the hall, and then take the spiral staircases. You might encounter a lot of enemy forces down here. In this playthrough, I did not find anybody. But all you're going to do is head all the way to the end, and you're going to jump down a hole. Now down this hole, you'll look for the dead body. There's 4 spawn locations. If there are multiple bodies and your mission is not being able to be completed, then it means you'll probably have to server hop. Now heading back to the ship, make sure you loot all of the dead bodies. Now with some luck and you being blessed of not falling down an elevator, you'll be able to make it back to your ship. Now this is the point where you'll transfer the loot into the SCU boxes, which I don't have in this video. And all you're going to do is you're going to make sure that the inventory of your local inventory is to the right and your vehicle to the left, and you can just transfer the weapons and armor. Now, when you have the SCU boxes, all you have to do is hold F, open loot, open inventory, and then move all. If the boxes get filled, you'll have to move into different containers. Due to the events that unfolded on that elevator, I was forced to use footage that I recorded with some friends of mine doing the same bounty mission. As you guys can see, we're mostly equipped with mining tools and tracker beams. We are in a Cutlass Black because we're 3 people. So now in this footage, we're heading into Ghost Hollows, which is where our bounty is located. It's very close to the Microtech Logistics Depot where we were at earlier. So now jumping into battle, this mission has the tendency of having bad environment, meaning there'll be snowstorms, fog, rain, and heavy terrain. The enemies in this mission are heavily trained and they will whoop your ass. So as you guys can see here from the video, I start shooting at some of them and my health is already dropped to 20%. And because I did not check my inventory before hopping into the fight, I also forgot to recharge my med tool. So as you guys can see, by not checking my equipment, I almost died. In all reality, I did die. I got revived, so just letting you know. While sustaining fire and grenades from all directions, me and my friend basically died in the combat. We were saved by our other friend that was flying the ship. I'll leave the footage right here for you guys. I did spend 10 minutes on con, by the way. And when I thought all hope was lost, the beam of light retracted me back to the ship. Somehow my friend managed to pick me up from like 100 meters away with his tractor pistol. Now these are one of the many reasons why having a tractor beam is very important in Start Citizens. If it wasn't for this mission would have been a failure. Just to note, sometimes the AI might be bots when playing this mission, and sometimes they can be cracked like it happened to me. So in failing efforts, me and my friend tried to pick up our other friend that was dead in the woods, and somehow he managed to pick him up again with the tractor beam. So once we brought our third friend into the ship and revived him, we continued with the mission, and we let those guys feel the pain. At this point on the video, there's no real pattern on how to loot this area. All you really want to do is land on the outskirts and make sure that if you're going in alone, you have enough meds, and don't be a noob like me and not bring in a full medical gun. Now, taking out the enemies, you'll have enemies in the roofs, you'll have ground troops, you'll have enemies that spawn inside towers and or inside facilities, or buildings better said. Once you dispatch all the enemies, the boss will land or spawn in the location. If he lands from a ship, he will spawn with like 4 additional guards. So this mission is a little bit hard when it comes to combat compared to the other two. So you guys want to make sure you kill all the enemies. Also, note, in this little hut I'm located right now, you can find a crypto key located next to the TV. It just spawns on the TV. Once 5 enemies are left, you'll have them tagged on the map. Once you eliminate all of them, that's when the boss is going to spawn. Now, take in consideration, there is a bunch of weapons for vehicles. There's random boxes that spawn on the map, and they are really hard to find. I'm not really sure what other locations are for all of them, but you'll find a bunch of stuff in this map. Especially, like I said, weapons for your ship and red containers. Now, I'm right here about to eliminate the last enemy. And as you guys can see, the timer at the top right changed from eliminate hostiles to prepare, and it gives us 10 seconds. Once the timer is down, the boss is going to spawn on the map, and he's also going to be tagged on the map by a yellow dot. So at this point, me and my friend try to dispatch the boss. My friend did get the kill. So you can see he's there dying. This boss will have a LMG or 2 LMGs. It really all depends on his loot. He will have a backpack and heavy armor, so he is a little bit tanky. Just a side note, my friend was the only one that was able to get all the loot since our SCU boxes were glitched. And when he sold everything, that's talking about loot from this area alone, he made about 235k. That's not to mention the boarding and process and the Microtech logistics depot. So if you do this run by yourself or with friends, you could probably make about 700k. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did try to make a longer format, and I do apologize that I do not have the footage after falling that elevator. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.